Welcome to our yoga flow practice. You guys don't need anything extra, just your mat. So whenever you're ready, let's go ahead and have a seat. So find a comfortable seated position on your mat. Take a moment to adjust through the sits bones, maybe turning the head side to side, maybe rolling the shoulders down the back. Just make any adjustments you need. And then we're gonna float palms up on top of the knees, and we're gonna float those eyes closed. So we're gonna take our first few moments just to center ourselves. We're gonna find that 3-part breath. So as you're inhaling, thinking about filling the belly up like a balloon. That inhale travels up through the rib cage, creating space in between the ribs. And finally reaching the chest. As you exhale, release from the chest, knit the ribs together, and feel your belly button press back towards your spine. Feeling that 3-part breath. Feeling how it creates a wave through the torso. Clear your mind of any other chatter. Focus solely on your breath. Now, as we take this last moment of our seated centering, I want to invite you to set an intention for your practice. Now, if nothing comes to mind, you certainly don't have to, but setting that small intention just for the next 30 minutes, it's just a small goal in the grand scheme of things. But you can always return back to that intention when things are getting a little bit more challenging, or maybe you need that extra bit of motivation for yourself. So, option to set an intention for your practice. If not, just continue to focus on your breath. Give me one last big breath here. As you complete that exhale, softly float the eyes open. Let's go ahead and bring ourselves onto hands and knees. So sacrifice one of your hips down onto the mat. Bring the hands down flat on the mat, spread out through your fingertips, ground down through your hands, knees stacked underneath your hips. Inhale, lift the head, lift the tailbone, let your belly drop into cow. Exhale, tuck your chin, round your back, pull the belly button back towards your spine. Inhale, lengthen it out to cow. Exhale, round it back into cat. So as you're finding our first few rounds of cat-cow breathing, you want to start to feel your core warm up here. So not just the abdominals, not just that front side, but also thinking about the side abs, your obliques, and also thinking about the back side of your body as well, your back muscles. So that entire torso starting to warm up. You're keeping that breath down low, so you're feeling those abs engaged when you pull the belly button back towards the spine. Let's do one last final breath here. As you complete your exhale, return it to a neutral spine. Curl the toes under, shift the hips up and back, find your downward dog. Now if your calves are feeling tight, feel free to walk out your dog, bending into one knee, letting the opposite heel sink, just stretching out through your calves. If your neck is feeling tight, feel free to shake out the head, little little no. Whatever feels good here. Float your gaze up towards your hands. Go ahead and gently walk your feet forward, finding yourself in a forward fold position. Feeling that stretch all through the backs of the legs. Make sure that head is hanging heavy. Soft bend in your knees. Float your hands off the mat and slowly stack your spine. One vertebra at a time. Head is the last thing you lift. Go ahead and step to the front edge of your mat. Take your feet parallel, hip distance apart. Let's find your mountain pose. So take a moment here. Really press down firmly through your feet. Shoulders are dropped down the back, chest is open, gaze is forward, spine has that long line of energy. Feel the strength in this simple pose. Let's do one last breath here in mountain, and then we're going to take it through some sun salutations. So let's go ahead and inhale, circle the arms out to the side and up, gaze up to the ceiling. Option to take a little back bend, pressing the hips forward, gaze going up towards the sky, arms reaching back behind you. Exhale, fold it forward, find that forward fold. Now as you inhale, we're going to take a half lift. So inhale, hands float to the shins, flatten out your back, take your gaze forward. Exhale, release the hands down to the mat, hands press firmly, walk or jump your feet back to your plank. Hold, hips pressing down, gaze is down and forward, one long line of energy. We're going to take it through our chaturanga, our yoga push-up. So bend those elbows, keep them tight to the ribs as you hover all the way down towards the mat. Let the tops of your feet relax on that mat. Inhale, lift it into cobra. Shoulders roll down the back, elbows squeeze in tight beside the body. Curl your toes under, shift your hips up and back, and give me that downward dog. Holding it here, hips high, head released in between those arms. Flip the gaze up towards your hands, walk or jump those feet back into your forward fold. Inhale, float the hands to your shins, flatten out your back, half lift. Exhale, release it all the way back down. Inhale in that forward fold. Exhale, circle sweep those arms out to the side and up. Exhale, float those hands to heart center, bringing it back into mountain. Inhale, circle sweep your arms out to the side and up. Option to take that gentle back bend. Exhale, fold it forward, finding your forward fold. Inhale, hands to the shins, half lift, flatten out your back. Exhale, release it into that forward fold. Walk or jump the feet back to your plank. And then bend the elbows, exhale, chaturanga, bring it on down. Inhale, sweep it up to cobra or upward dog if you want to lift those hips. Exhale, curl the toes under, give me that downward dog. Gaze is going to go up towards your hands. Walk or jump those feet forward. Find that forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale to release. Inhale, circle sweep the arms out to the side and up. Exhale, hands meet and they come to heart center. Let's pick up the pace. Inhale, the arms out to the side and up. Gentle back bend. Exhale, fold it forward. Inhale, take it to that half lift. Exhale, release. Walk or jump those feet back to plank and chaturanga down. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, take it back into downward dog. Hold it here, 3 breaths. Gaze floats up towards those palms. Walk or jump those feet up to a forward fold. Inhale, take it to that half lift. Exhale, release back into that forward fold. Inhale, circle the arms out to the side and up. Exhale, hands meet, hands come to heart center. Inhale, the arms out to the side and up, gentle back bend. Exhale, dive it forward, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, release. Hands plant down, walk or jump back to that plank, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog, and exhale it to downward dog. Now, hold it here in downward dog. as a resting posture. If you need to, come onto the knees, find your child's pose. So whatever your body is considering a resting posture right now, take it. Child's pose or downward dog. All right, so we're all gonna meet in downward dog. So if you're in that child's pose, meet me back up in downward dog. All right, you guys, so from here, we're gonna stay in that downward dog position. We're gonna inhale, float your left leg up high to the sky. Now, when you float the left leg up, let the hip externally rotate. Bend into that left knee, flex your foot, so you're coming into three-legged dog. Now, gaze can be underneath that left underarm. Option to take it all the way into wild thing. So if you want to take it into wild thing, start to track that left foot behind you. It finds the floor and you open it up. Left arm reaches up towards the ceiling. Huge heart opener here. Reach it, reach it. Now if you took wild thing, flip it back over. Hit that three-legged dog once more. So we're all in three-legged dog. Now keep the knee bent. Rotate so you're parallel. So think knee's gonna come in towards the chest. We're gonna slide that left leg all the way through into runner's lunge. So find your runner's lunge here. Now, if you feel yourself dumping on your thigh here, think about lifting off of it. So no, you're not all the way up tall, but your spine is long. So even if that means your hands aren't touching the floor, you'd rather have the activation than to touch the floor. So you should feel those abs fire. Go ahead and spin that right heel down. Float your arms up by the ears to find warrior one. Head up, chest up. Arms framing the ears. Really sink into that lunge. Press that right heel down firmly into the mat. Take a gaze down towards your left foot. Make sure your left knee is above the ankle, not going over the toes. 90-degree bend. Now from here, stay in that same position. Just rotate your right toes forward. Your right heel has now lifted. You're in crescent lunge. Bring the hands together up above the head. Palms are flat. Give me a big inhale. Start to lift the head. Start to reach your hands back, finding that gentle back bend. So sink more of the weight into your left foot. As you open the chest, gaze goes up towards the sky, fingers are reaching long behind you. This is a huge balance posture, you guys. Make sure you're breathing. Keep everything activated here. Slowly bring it back up tall. Hands can release away from one another. And then let's take that right heel back down. Back in warrior one. Keep the core engaged. And then start to lower it down. Hands are gonna frame that left foot, and then we'll go ahead and step the left foot back. Come onto the toes of both feet. Let's move it through your flow. Chaturanga, sweep it to cobra or up dog, and then meet me in downward dog. Or once again, find a child's pose. So whatever your resting posture looks like right now. Now we're going to repeat that entire sequence on the right side. So meet me in downward dog if you're not already there. We're going to take a big inhale, float that right leg up high to the sky. Externally rotate from your hip. Bend into that right knee. Stack your hips. Take your gaze up underneath that right underarm. Or track that right foot all the way down behind you. Open it into wild thing. Just an option. Right fingers reaching up towards the sky. Now if you're in that wild thing position, rotate it back to three-legged dog. Now from here, bring that right hip, square it towards the mat. Pull the right knee in towards your chest, step it through. So find your runner's lunge position. Lift the chest up and off that right thigh. So remember, we're not dumping into it. We're lengthening the spine. Abs are engaged. Fingertips are reaching down towards the mat. Now spin that left heel down. Come up tall. Arms up by the ears, warrior one. So shoulders down the back. Take a gander towards your right leg. Make sure that that knee isn't going over the toes, it's stacked above the ankle. Now keep that powerful stance. Rotate your left foot so your left heel lifts, hips are squared forward, crescent lunge. Bring the palms together. Palms meet up towards the sky. Let's take that back bend. So shift more of the weight into your right foot, sink the hips a little lower, lift the gaze up towards the sky, open your chest, reach your fingers long behind you. Breathe into this heart opener. Try to release it back a little deeper. Head up, chest up, bring it back up tall. Take the hands apart, spin that left heel back down, hit that warrior one again. Now from here, hands are gonna float down towards that right foot. Step the right foot back, come onto the toes, take it through your flow. Now instead of downward dog, we're all gonna take a child's pose. So bend the knees, sink your hips back towards your heels, rest the forehead down, take a breath. Slowly lift the head, roll your spine up, and we're gonna stay on the knees. So you're on your knees, hips are back towards your heels, so you're coming into a little hero pose here. We're gonna move slowly into camel. So camel is gonna be an intense heart opener, but you'll have options along the way. All right, so go ahead and separate the legs out just about hip distance, come up to a high kneel. So hips are squared forward, you've got that little bit of separation between the legs, hands are going to come flat to your lower back. So elbows are pointing back behind you, and once again, you're in that high kneel. All right, so inhale, you're up nice and tall. Exhale, start with just the head. Start to release the head back, gaze going up towards the sky. Press your hips forward so your chest is opening. Very important to breathe here, you guys. Now, staying here is perfect. That's totally fine. Now, if you want to progress, you're gonna do it slowly and safely. Keep pressing the hips forward, head up, chest up, one hand at a time. Reach your right hand back for your right heel. Once your right hand is connected to that right heel, left hand goes to the left heel. Release the head all the way back into your full camel. Hips continuously press forward. Chest is open, head is released back, breathe. I know it's a tough one to hold, you guys. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Remember your intention. Carefully bring one hand back to the lower back at a time. Come back up all the way nice and tall, and then shift your hips back towards your heels. Find a child's pose. Round it forward. Release. Now you can stay low. Give me a little puppy pose here. So walk your knees back a little. Bring your arms long out in front. Release your chest and your chin down towards the mat. Nice and easy. Start to shift your weight up towards your hands and slide all the way to the stomach. So once you've slid down on your stomach, make sure you've got space in front of you for your arms to be straight. So once you've got that space, left arm is long in front of you, bring your left cheek to the mat. So left arm is long, left cheek is on the mat. Legs are long behind you. Reach your right arm back. Now you're gonna bend into that right knee. Reach and wrap your right hand around your right ankle or foot. Now, if it's not reaching, that's okay. You can always just grab at your thigh, or you can find an active reach towards your foot. Side note, if it's not reaching, you can always have a strap or a belt close by, and it'll help with wrapping it around, pulling it in. So active quad stretch here. You're pulling that right heel in towards your seat. Give me one last big inhale here. With your exhale, carefully release that right foot down. Change it out. Right arm in front, right cheek down, left arm back towards the feet. Bend your left knee, reach and wrap your left hand around the ankle or the foot. Active pull of that left heel in towards the seat. Feeling that stretch through the quad, the top of the thigh. Last big inhale here. With your exhale, carefully release that left foot. Bring your forehead down to your mat. Both hands are reaching towards the feet. So we're going to take it into bow. So bend into both knees. Reach and wrap both hands around the ankles or the feet. Just hold here for a moment. Now once again, if your hands aren't reaching, you guys, you can always just hold the heels pulling in towards the seat, or you can actively be reaching. So start to lift your head up and off the mat. Take your gaze forward. It's going to be a slow progression. Use your core to help. Start to lift your chest up and off the mat. Roll your shoulders down the back. You're still pulling those heels in towards your seat. Now, this is perfectly fine to keep it right here. But if you want to take it more into that full bow position, really activate through your core. Lift belly button up. Start to lift as you kick into your feet, pulling up into your full bow position. Hips pressing down, gaze is forward, chest is open. Breathe. One last big breath here. Carefully release it down. Let your feet go and bring your hands under your shoulders. Go ahead and press it back into that child's pose. Let's stretch out that lower back. Bring yourself back up to hands and knees. So once you're back up on hands and knees, we're going to take it to a little thread the needle. So ground down through your left hand. Inhale, float that right arm up. Open your chest. Take your gaze up towards your right fingertips. Exhale, thread the right arm underneath the left. Bring your right cheek to the mat. Now you've got options. You can walk that left hand out away from your body to get a little bit bigger stretch through the left shoulder, or wrap your left hand around the lower back so your left fingers are reaching towards your right hip. Just taking a little bind if that feels okay. Go ahead and bring that left hand back onto the mat. Press firmly into that palm. Inhale, lift it back up. Right arm goes up high to the sky. And exhale, float it back down. Now same thing with the left. So inhale, lift that left arm up. Gaze up towards the ceiling, reach through your fingers. Exhale, thread it underneath the right. Left cheek down on the mat. Now you can walk that right hand away from the body, getting a bigger stretch through the right shoulder, or wrap. Wrapping that right arm around the lower back, right fingers reaching towards the left hip, if that feels okay. Go ahead and bring that right hand back under the shoulder. Press firmly into that right palm. Inhale, float that left arm up. And exhale, bring it all the way back down. Go ahead and sit yourself down. We're almost there to lay down, you guys. We're going to take it to a little boat. So you're seated on your mat. Zip your legs together. So zip your legs together. Feet are planted firmly on the mat. Arms are going to reach out in front of you. Arms are nice and active. Now from here, keep your back flat, nice long spine. Just hinge back a little bit. So you've hinged back a few inches. You should feel your abs fire up. Keep squeezing the legs. Float your feet up and off the mat. Now I really want you to feel your chest open, your spine long. So it's not a rounded position. Lengthen. Now you can stay right here or float those legs to tabletop. Knees stacked above the hips. Legs are still squeezing together. Now, you can always bring the hands behind the thighs or on the outsides of the calves if you need a little bit more support. Otherwise, keep them active as those fingers reach out in front of you. All right, you guys, as long as you're okay to proceed, extend the legs and give me that full boat pose. Now, shaking is definitely bound to happen. Make sure you're breathing, embrace that shake. Make sure you're still in that long spine. I know it's hard to hold. Make sure you're breathing. Stick with me. We're almost there. All right, let's hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release the feet down and then go ahead and lay yourself down on your back. So once you're laying down on your back, we're gonna take it to a little shoulder stand and plow, which we worked on with Work to Invert on Saturday. So arms down long beside you. Go ahead and extend your legs up high to the sky. Zip them together. Give me a big inhale. As you exhale, lift the hips. Bring your hands behind your lower back. So you've got a little shelf with the elbows. So you're supporting, hands resting on the lower back. Legs are staying zipped together, toes pointed. Make sure you're not rolling onto the neck. Now you can stay here in shoulder stand or flex the feet, and you can move it into plow if that feels okay. Toes reaching for the floor behind you. So you've got options here. Shoulder stand or plow. Now if you're in plow, go ahead and take it back up to shoulder stand. So we're all back up to our legs up high to the sky. Now I know it's a work in progress for a lot of you, but stick with me, we're gonna get out of it slow. So rewarding when you can get there, you guys. So carefully, take one hand down to the mat at a time, as slow as you can go. Release, one vertebra at a time. Feel your abs fire up to help you. One single vertebra touches the mat at a time. Hips are the last and final piece to release. Take your feet down flat on the mat. Walk your feet out mat distance. Let your knees fall into one another here. So you should feel your lower back relax down into the mat. Go ahead and hug those knees in towards your chest. Wrap your arms around your legs. Rock it a little side to side. Do any other last minute stretches you would like before we move into Shavasana. So feel free to take it to a little happy baby, a twist, whatever feels good for you here. Anything that makes your practice feel complete. And then whenever you're ready, extend the legs out long on the mat. Let your feet fall open. Arms go down long beside you. Palms turn up towards the ceiling. Whenever you're ready, relax those eyes closed. Find that 3-part breath connection. That wave of breath through the torso. Starting to slow the breathing down. Start to feel all the muscles relax in the body. Feel the muscles of the face start to release. Feel your body start to sink into the earth. Slowly start to wiggle fingers and toes. Small movements to start, and maybe gradually making those movements a little larger. Keeping your eyes closed, roll over onto your right side, finding a fetal position. Keeping your eyes closed, making as little movement as possible. Make your way back up to a cross-legged seated position. Palms up on the knees, just like how we started. Taking these last few breaths to reflect on your practice. Reflect back on your intention and to thank yourself for this time. Go ahead and bring the hands together at heart center. Softly open the eyes. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me. I am sure that you did amazing.